Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambi Reads the Holy Books of India, Ramayana121. As you may remember, Sumantra was saying that nobody welcomed him when he came back to the city. The king was listening, and he spoke nothing for a while. His mind was lost in thoughts of his son, and he imagined the picture which Sumantra had presented to him so vividly. He spoke at last in a faltering voice. "This greatest of all calamities has befallen the house of the noble kings, because of me and my thoughtlessness. Sumantra, take me to Rama. I cannot live without Rama." Dasarata was beside himself with grief, and Kaushalya sat with tears coursing down her cheeks. She spoke not a word, and so they sat, the old king and his wives, Sumitra and Kaushalya, the bereaved mothers. After some time, Dasarata turned his eyes on Kaushalya and said, "Kaushalya, I ask you to forgive me. I fold my palms thus and ask you again and again to forgive me for this my unjust action. You have always been just, kind, and good even to your enemies. You are generous at heart. Do not be angry with me. I'm suffering already, and do not add to my misery by your displeasure." Kaushalya was shocked by the words of the king. She spoke to him in a kind and gentle voice and said, "Do not do this, my lord. A husband should never ask his wife for forgiveness. It's wrong. A woman whose husband does so will be unfit for the next world. I'm familiar with the rules of conduct, and if I have said anything to hurt you, it is because of my sorrow at the separation from my child. You know, my lord, sorrow kills one's courage. It destroys the power to think properly. There is no enemy worse than sorrow, since it has the power to annihilate all one's good qualities. When your enemies hurt you, you can fight back. But when the gods will that certain events should take place, we are helpless, and we cannot alter the course of fate. 5 days have passed since our child left us and went away, and already it seems like 5 years. And thoughts of him only make sorrow increase more, and it grows tenfold in the heart." The sun's rays had lost their heat, and they were being slowly withdrawn. The sun was setting, and soon night set in. Out of sheer exhaustion, King Dasarata slept for some time. After a while, he woke up. Kaushalya was there by his side. It was a tragic sight. The two old people sitting and talking about the sun and crying again and again. Sumitra could not comfort them. Dasarata was thinking back on the glorious life he had led and about this sad end to it. He was certain in his mind that he would not live after this calamity which had visited him. As he looked back on his eventful life, he was able to remember something which had happened before, when he was a young man. He looked at Kaushalya for a long moment. His eyes were sad and tender. He decided to tell her about it. 26. The Curse of a Rishi. As Kaushalya had mentioned, it was the 6th night after Rama had departed. Half the night had passed, and the king was now wide awake. He called Kaushalya and asked her to sit very close to him. He said, "My queen, when a person does something, whether it is good or bad, they are sure to reap the harvest of the act. A good act will grant the person punya, while the wrong act will definitely make the person suffer for it. If this is not realized, then people are foolish. An action performed with no thought of the consequences will, if it is wrong, make the person realize the truth about it. And by that time, it's too late. That person is unable to stem the tide of retribution which is sure to follow a wrong act." Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.